Hey everybody, Chris here. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my April price prediction for Dogecoin. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when my videos come out as well as when I do live streams. And yesterday evening, we had a big flush in the crypto market, a big drop down, taking out hundreds of millions of dollars of leveraged longs yet again. Dogecoin came all the way down to 8.8 cents. Bitcoin on its flush came all the way down to $65,000, and we were watching Solana, and Solana did dip below $80. So this was market-wide across all of crypto. We had that big flush, but everything has recovered a bit. Bitcoin is up to 67,500 right now. Dogecoin at 9.3 cents. What is going to happen from here? That is what we are going to talk about in this video. I have been showing this triangle, and the triangle has been squeezing tight here. We'll take a look at this together with the Bollinger Bands in just a little bit, but this kind of squeeze tends to point to a big move coming. We have been up and down and up and down. Dogecoin has been holding relatively well as far as its support at 9 cents, and that is the question as we go into April. Will 9 cents hold? Will it even test it again? Will it come back up to 10 cents, which is this yellow line here, which is a target every time we come over 10 cents? Doge has turned around, so that's stop and reverse, SAR, and it has stopped and reversed each time it has come over 10 cents over here since the beginning of February. So this is the setup that we have for Dogecoin right now. Dogecoin is still the 9th largest cryptocurrency. Out of all cryptos, all the millions of cryptos that are out there, Dogecoin is still number 9. Tron has separated itself a little bit more, where Tron is now almost double, or more than double, than the market cap of Dogecoin. And Hyperliquid, well, Hyperliquid has a bit of ways to go before it can catch Doge. Meanwhile, Cardano has dropped all the way down to number 13 now. So weakness in Cardano, Dogecoin number 9, holding up okay. And someone's going to say, oh, but it's down 80% since its all-time high. Hey, if you want to look at it that way, you go right ahead. But I'm talking about where Dogecoin is right now and where Dogecoin is going to go in the future. That's what we're talking about here. Unfortunately, the fear and greed index is still extreme fear, like it has been since February, as we have the military conflict or war still going on. We have energy challenges, oil prices are up, gold, silver down, and uncertainty in the markets. We'll see. This is Monday morning. We don't know where the stock market is going to go. It looks like it's kind of up a little bit in futures trading, and we'll see if there is some negativity in the stock market. Overall, what happened here? Well, this isn't a spot-driven rally. This little rally that we had since the flush since we had the flush on Sunday evening, any pump is because of short positions being closed. Once this fully resets, downtrend will start. That's what Ted Pillow says. So you see that big leverage flush, takes out leverage longs. The price recovers and starts coming up. The market makers are targeting the shorts. So what do the short traders do? If you're a short up here and you had your short open from late last week, you closed out your short position because you could see this was a target. I mean, if you're watching the markets, you should be if you're trading like that, right? So short positions start closing, the rally fades because that's essentially like selling. So that's what you see is, and the open interest comes down. See, the open interest comes down because those short positions are getting closed out. So that is what we saw overnight and into this morning. Overall, U.S. recession in 2026 is getting confirmed day by day. Prediction markets are now pricing in a 40% chance of recession. So it's doubled in the last month. Fear of recession. I still think stagflation is out there as a possibility. We will continue to watch that and talk about that during my live streams. My next live stream will be Monday afternoon, 4 o'clock p.m. East Coast time. Make sure you're subscribed, you got your notifications on, join in the live streams, ask questions. I'll catch up on the day's news. We talk about that first. We look at charts, and then I do Q&A, and you can ask your questions, and we try and have a little fun along the way. But that is the trend right now between the sentiment, market sentiment being down, extreme fear and greed index, fear of recession. There's going to be no rate cuts for the rest of this year. And there might even be a rate hike. And we could be seeing that as well. Gel reminds us, look, fib levels. Bitcoin bear market lows have historically formed below the 0.618 retracement level. Is this time different? I doubt it. So many looking at all of these markers on the Bitcoin chart thinks Bitcoin still has a way to go. Every bear market, Bitcoin has dropped below the 0.618 fib level. I showed fib levels as well, and I gave price targets on my bear market bottoms. We talk about that during my live streams as well. And I did that again just the other day. Again, just re-looking at where these price targets are if bear market continues and we have lower prices. Meanwhile, Alan is looking at, on the 4-hour chart, back of the resistance trend line for the fourth test, breakout or rejection next. So we see this typically with Dogecoin, stop and reverse, stop and reverse, stop and reverse, stop and reverse. And it's tightening up in his wedge that he has. Again, that's at 9 cents at the bottom. And that seems to be what Doge is holding fairly well. Again, we have dips below, the little wicks going down below 9 cents. And those are buying opportunities if you don't think Doge is going any lower. Overall, when we look at where Doge is going to go from here, the Bollinger Band squeeze tightens, X-Money launches. The X-Money launch approaches, which we think is going to be in April, which makes the April price prediction a big challenge because it's going to depend on whether that happens or not. Doge has been range bound between 9 and 15 cents for roughly a year. The daily chart reflects exactly that. Doge sits at 9.26 near the lower Bollinger Band as the bands compress to their tightest range since January. X-Money, we think it's going to do a slow rollout. It's not going to be one big bang. And we know it's going to be fiat only, as I've said. And I've been saying that for a year and a half. Dogecoin is not going to be on X-Money when it launches. Crypto speculation around Dogecoin, though, continues to be building. And we have a SpaceX IPO coming as well. Could be in April. I think it's going to be more like June, but we will see. So the Bollinger Band squeeze with the stop and reverse overhead being the challenge. So here's this big triangle, again, since the 8-cent low in early February coming up. We have the downward sloping resistance line, and we have Dogecoin tightening in on that. So as the Bollinger Bands compress sharply after months of wide expanding bands, the upper band sits at 10 cents, middle band at 9.43, and lower band just below 9 cents. Prices trading between the lower and middle bands. Stop and reverse is up near 10 cents, sitting just above the upper band, acting as a double layer of resistance. So that is where the Bollinger Band is right now. Band squeezes of this kind after a prolonged trend typically precede a sharp directional move, and the direction usually becomes clear within a few candles. The dotted ascending trend line from the February low is rising toward current price, adding support. Daily close above the middle band at 943 would shift the immediate structure in favor of the bulls, but that stop and reverse at 10 cents needs to flip for any sustained move to develop. So if we go below the lower band, then we could be in trouble on the price of Doge, and it could be threatening, again, the 8-cent low. So will X-Money push Doge above 10 cents? X-Money launches next month as a peer-to-peer fiat payment system built in partnership with Visa. And just that right alone right there says, yeah, I don't see Dogecoin being part of that anytime soon. Crypto is not part of the initial rollout. Again, as Chris has said for a year and a half, that was most likely, particularly when they announced that Visa was going to be the partner in this thing. Musk's track record with Dogecoin makes the absence of a crypto feature more of a delay than a decision. He has previously called himself the Doge father. Yes, we do have that. And there was Elon again last month, or earlier this month, in March, with the Doge father. Again, this was Sir Doge the Coin who made this little AI video, but Elon Musk right-clicked it, saved it, and then posted it as his own. Just a little wink and a nod to the Dogecoin family. I think that he hasn't forgotten about us. So Elon has accepted Doge as payment at Tesla. The SpaceX seems to be a thing that's still out there. SpaceX does have some Doge, but that wasn't from like people buying merch. That was from the Doge 1 project that paid a lot of Doge to SpaceX. And we haven't had the Doge 1 yet. Looks like it's going to be 2027 now, but it's still out there as well. And Dogecoin, of course, Elon was involved in that early Dogecoin retail base. So even without direct crypto integration, the idea of Dogecoin being used for payments on X is enough to reignite retail enthusiasm, which has historically been the primary driver of Doge price moves. So that's what it is right there. It's just the idea that Dogecoin could be there one day. That can get Dogecoin to pump. So what does that mean for the price going forward? That's what you're here for. Look, the big picture for the month of April is I think there will be some dips, but we will also have a rise in price. Possibly around April 20th, we could be about 11.5 cents. This has 11.6 here. And I agree with that. I think we could have the strong upward movement in Doge. I don't think it's going to be as smooth as this chart shows. I think it's going to be more drastic ups and downs because that's the volatility that we live in today, with day-by-day news being the catalyst that shoots the market up and drops it very quickly as well. But getting up into the mid-11s is probably in the cards for the month of April. I think it's going to come back down, though. We'll probably end the month somewhere in the 10s. You know, the month of March, Chris got exactly correct. I said we would see a bottom in the 9s, we would have dips below, we would come up over 10, and then back in the 9s, and that's exactly what we did. So Chris did get another month right. I don't know what I'm batting, maybe 50-50 if we go to a year ago, because last summer I had almost each month correct. Was off in October and November, I admit that, but everybody was off. But I got March correct, and this is what I think will April as well. And on a quicker time frame, as we begin the month of April, I think we're going to be around here above the 9s, and I think we're going to have a dip here, maybe to 8.5 cents, come later this week, and then a reversal, and we're going to have those stop and reverses, again, are going to happen as we go forward in April. And we'll see about the leverage trading. We'll continue to watch that through the month of April in the live streams. We'll see what happens with Elon. We'll see what happens with X money, whether that's going to launch. And again, it could be a slow rollout, as I believe it's going to happen. And they probably aren't going to market it as well as we would want it to do to get a huge pump upwards. And of course, the ongoing war or military conflict in Iran will continue and will continue to put negative pressure on the markets, particularly with oil going up. What gold and silver does, we will be watching as well. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about the price of Dogecoin for the month of April? Give the video a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.